I'm gonna be honest. I have been putting off talking about this story because this thing has so many moving parts, and a lot of people have done a lot of very interesting and thorough breakdowns to this story. It's crazy. Like, I couldn't even bring myself to watch a lot of the breakdowns because the story itself just screamed very eerie to me. And the only time that I really sat down and listened to people talk about it at length was Nicole's view and Harvey, because she recently had a live stream where they both spoke about this, and they just started to talk about the issue, and it's a lot of them, when it concerns Tiffany Haddish and Spears. Now, before anyone asks, no, I did not watch the video. Thank God no one sent it to me. People had asked me in my live stream that I just recently did. They said, Torian, are you going to talk about the Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears situation? I didn't want to say yes, and I didn't want to say no. I said I'll think about talking about it, because I don't want to say I'm going to do something and I don't deliver. So that's why I just kind of left it up in the air. But it's everywhere. Like, you really can't escape it. So I was listening to Nicole's view and Harvey, because she had Harvey as a guest on her live stream that she did on Sunday. And that was my first time, like I said, listening to the story at length. And while I did not get sent the video, and please don't send me the video, Nicole described the actions and what was going on in the video. And let me just tell you right now, this is most likely or could be a career hinder for Tiffany Haddish. As far as Aries Spears, at this point, he hasn't been relevant for how long. It's crazy. The only thing that brought him back into the relevant sphere is his comments on Lizzo. Because remember, if y'all remember a few years ago, Aries Spears went on the 5150 show with Corey Holcomb and Darlene Ortiz and Zoe Williams, where Zoe Williams beat the you-know-what out of Aries Spears for talking out the side of his mouth. And of course, this isn't the first time that Aries Spears has come at people sideways, especially other black people. But based on what Nicole was describing this video, it was a skit, quote unquote, because, if you put skit on something, it's supposed to, remove any type of major issues or consequences that involve Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish and two kids, a boy and a girl. I'm going to say it involved a toy train, and the mimicking of a sexual innuendo using that train. I'm going to just kind of leave it right there. Those of you who've seen the video know even more into what happened. But what I'm going to go ahead now is I'm going to read this article. It's a pretty lengthy one, but we're going to get through it. Coming from this website called avclub.com that was posted this past Thursday. I believe that Thursday was the 2nd. No, the 3rd. No, the 2nd. Or whatever day September came in on. I believe that's the 1st. I wish they would have just put the date here instead of the day, and see what else that they are talking about. Comedians Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears are the subject of a new lawsuit this week, the Daily Beast reports. The two comics have been accused by Jane Doe and John Doe, two siblings who are now 22 and 14, respectively, of asking them to perform sexually suggestive acts for a pair of comedy sketches filmed 8 and 7 years ago, including one titled Through a Pedophile's Eyes. The lawsuit was filed pro se, i.e. without legal counsel, on Monday, and accuses Haddish and Spears of intentional infliction of emotional distress, gross negligence, sexual battery, sexual harassment, and sexual abuse of a minor. Haddish is also accused of negligent supervision, failure to warn, breach of fiduciary duty, and constructive fraud. Now, basically, what it is that also adding into it, I don't know if the article is going to touch on it, but I'll mention it now, just in case they don't bring it up. Apparently, This so-called skit was supposed to be for the Nickelodeon network, or what they thought was for the Nickelodeon network. And the parents of the kids, because I believe they're siblings, well, they are siblings. They, according to the mother, thought it was going to be something for Nickelodeon, and it turns out it really wasn't. That's exactly why people call Hollywood Hollyweird right now. This almost seemed like some casting couch stuff. That's almost what it sounded like to me, or sounds like to me. In the lawsuit, Jane Doe, now the legal guardian of her younger brother, describes both of the sketches which the siblings were reportedly recruited due to a friendship between their mother and Haddish. In her own incident, Jane Doe describes both in the suit and in an interview with the Daily Beast being brought to a recording booth and shown a video of two college friends suggestively eating a Subway sandwich, and then was asked to mimic the sounds and motions. Here's the DB report describing the suit. Haddish verbally explained what was expected of plaintiff Jane Doe, and then showed plaintiff Jane Doe how to give fellatio, including movements, noises, moaning, and groaning. The lawsuit describes Spears allegedly looking on while a physically, emotionally, and mentally uncomfortable Jane received this instruction. Now, if y'all have seen the movies Girl Trips, and I wouldn't fault you if you didn't, that was Tiffany Haddish's breakout role. Everyone really knew the other actresses in the movie for doing other things such as Queen Latifah, Regina Hall, and Jada Pinkett Smith. Tiffany Haddish was more like the new girl on the block at the time. In the movie, there was a scene where she's talking about grapefruiting. And basically, grapefruiting, as described in the movie, is that you take the grapefruit, you cut it in half, you cut a hole in the grapefruit. Now, in the movie, when she demonstrates it, she uses a banana. And you take the grapefruit, put the banana through the hole, and you suck on the banana while moving the grapefruit up and down. Now, of course, in the actual act of the grapefruiting, the banana is, you fill in the blank. And you do the same thing that she was doing with the banana, but with fill in the blank. I'm trying not to be as completely raunchy, because let's be real here, this is as raunchy as it gets when it comes to the story itself. But those of you who've seen the movie Girls Trip, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So when I read this about how to give fellatio, which means giving head, and movements and noises and moaning and groaning, that scene comes to mind. Let me continue. Jane says it was eventually made clear to her that she wasn't giving the desired performance. She was paid $100 and declined at the time to describe the incident to her mother. A year later, Haddish allegedly approached the family again, claiming to want to film a Nickelodeon sizzle reel for John. Instead, he ended up filming Through a Pedophile's Eyes with Haddish and Spears, a video originally posted to Funny or Die users' submitted section, and since deleted from both their and Spears' YouTube account, in which the former Mad TV actress plays a pedophile leering a then 7-year-old boy who reportedly spends most of the video in his underwear. Although Jane says she was present at Spears' house on the day of the shoot, she said Haddish ordered her to stay downstairs while the sketch was being filmed upstairs. Here is a description of the video from the Daily Beast, which reviewed a recording of the video as a part of its reporting. During the sketch, the camera zooms in suggestively on the 7-year-old's buttocks and crotch while he plays. Spears sprays baby oil onto the child's back and massages it onto his shoulders in one scene, and at another point the child plays with a train in a manner that suggests phallic masturbation. In another sequence, Spears smokes a cigarette while observing the child nude in a bathtub and pours water on his feet. The lawsuit states that after filming was done, Mr. Doe called his mother crying, said he did not want to film anymore. Jane and John's mother says she asked Spears to show her footage that had been shot, but Spears allegedly kept repeating that it had not yet been edited. Eventually, the lawsuit states that Spears claimed John had been so uncooperative that his footage had been deemed unusable and subsequently deleted, and it is not clear from what access we have to whether John's footage was used in the eventually posted now deleted video or whether another young actor ended up filming the scenes. Meanwhile, Haddish allegedly told the mother something to the effect of, "I don't think acting is for him." Both Jane, and you know what? That's real interesting. She said, when she said, "I don't think acting is for him," after after listening or reading this information right here, it makes you wonder what a lot of these child actors go through in order to get put on, quote unquote. I'm not saying that this happens with every child actor, but a lot of them go through that quote unquote grooming process. Notice I mentioned the casting couch towards the beginning of this video. A lot of them go through that grooming process in order to get put on. Both Jane and John have reportedly been in therapy since the incident. The legal complaint includes a statement from John that the pedophile sketch effed me up bad, stating he now has a difficulty trusting adults and a fear of being recorded. The pair's mother negotiated a settlement with Spears in 2019 over the video, but that agreement didn't directly cover either Haddish, who reportedly declined to participate, or the siblings themselves, who are now pursuing their own legal approach. The lawsuit seeks general and special damages as well as any appropriate statutory damages. Spears reportedly hasn't responded to requests for comments, but a lawyer for Haddish issued a statement this evening asserting that the plaintiff's mother has been trying to assert those bogus claims against Miss Haddish for several years. Now the mother has her adult daughter representing herself in this lawsuit. The two of them will together face the consequences of pursuing this frivolous action. And that's the entire article right there. Now, like I said, I'm almost certain that there's going to be way more that's going to come out because this is still a very ongoing story. It's still very recent. It's just the first domino has fallen, and y'all know what I tell y'all about when it comes to domino effects. Now, in case y'all did not know, and a lot of people didn't know because I actually wrote this in Nicole's View chat when she was talking about this. Tiffany Haddish was set to play FloJo, yes, that FloJo, Olympic gold medalist track star FloJo, in a biopic about her life. Now, when I had first heard about that, I was like, I don't know if Tiffany's going to be able to pull that off because I don't see her like, being FloJo or whatever the case may be. But I was willing to give it a shot because I know comedic actors can, if they have the right script, if they, go through the right coaching, can pull off dramatic roles. We have seen it be done before in the past. And I'm sure she'd probably be able to pull it off. However, after this, she can probably kiss that goodbye. Because I highly doubt that the family of FloJo, or even those who are really into the Olympic world, would want to see her now play this role, all of this surrounding her. I highly doubt it. And honestly, I don't think I would want to see it either. And that's sad because I was willing to give it a shot. This could have been a huge game changer for her career. This could have really changed the trajectory of her career to the point where now people might actually see her be a more serious actress outside of the roles that we've known her to always do. But she can most likely at this point kiss that goodbye. As for Aries Spears, my first initial thing was maybe this is all coming out because of what he said about, Lizzo and the weight thing, even though he's the last person to talk about anybody's weight. That's one thing I've never understood. How are you, a person who, and let's just talk about people who are obese. How are you as a person who is obese going to talk about someone else's weight as well when they're obese? Like, you have no room to talk. Honestly, like, Aries Spears is in no kind of good, healthy shape to be talking about Lizzo or anybody in that body spectrum. Now, if he was like a trainer or something like that, I can see it because he's maybe talking about it from a health perspective. But from what I've heard, it wasn't from a health perspective. It was more from a place of malice. So, but still, at the same time, Aries Spears is not in his most healthiest of states. I don't think I haven't seen really Aries Spears really be small in size probably since the 90s, probably back during his early stand-up days and, you know, his Mad TV days. But in the last few years, and it's been a lot of few years, that few, how you see Aries Spears looking in this picture is how he's been looking. So I don't know where all of that is coming from. But Aries Spears has been known to talk crap about people for a long time. And it's like, from what place do you have to speak on people when you look the way that you do and your career is not exactly where it once was? Like that's crazy. Like, you are one bad job away from probably working at Walmart your damn self. The only thing is, between the Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears, is that Tiffany Haddish actually still has a sort of relevancy still there. I don't know where it's going to be after this. But Aries Spears, this one right here, this one might actually break you. And at first, when the whole thing came out and it was about Aries Spears, I said, maybe it is about the Lizzo thing. And I said, how convenient this is. But then when you learn about this and the details come out, it's like, oh, okay. So they actually have something here. Like, they actually have a case here that really could be life altering and career ending. But as far as both of them are concerned, I really can't bring myself to feel for either one of them. I really don't. Because, like, if this is the end for both of them, they really have no one else to blame but themselves. Like, it's all about choices, it's all about decisions. These are two grown adults who a few years ago were still adults, as far as I'm concerned, grooming two children. Then on top of that, they're not even PC. And I bring that up because, remember, you know, we still got to deal with, well, they got to deal with Ezra Miller. And we know he has more issues than a little bit, but they're going to consistently find a way to give him an out. And I already told you why he has it. It's because he has the Trinity on his side. Those of you who watch my videos know exactly what the Trinity is. Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish doesn't even have 1 point on the Trinity triangle, where Ezra Miller has all 3. So it is what it is. But people said that they have seen the video. I have not seen it. I don't want to see it. As far as I'm concerned, if it's scrubbed from the internet, which the internet is a very big place, it might be somewhere. I'm not even going to look in search of it. I just saw the description. Well, I heard the description. And then after reading this in the article, I'm good on that. I don't need to see it. I don't need a visual. I'm trying to sleep good tonight. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the video on that note. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. Click that bell to be notified if the bell does not work for you. However, I upload my videos in a Premiere style format, so you can go ahead and click the notify me button in either the bottom left or bottom right of the thumbnail, and you should be notified that way. The links will be down in the description. I will talk to you in the next one.